The following is a production of WCMP Sports. It's time for high school basketball here on WCMP. Tonight we'll see the Pine City Dragons getting set to battle the Foley Falcons. Tip-off is coming up shortly, but now we send it out to the court for the pregame. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's broadcast of boys basketball here on WCMP 100.9 FM, WCMPradio.com with live video. That takes us to our YouTube page, which is WCMP Sports 5. And if you're watching on our WCMP Sports 5 YouTube page, thanks so much for tuning in here tonight. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you're notified every time we go live with a local sporting event, whether it be basketball. I mean, there's just a plethora of sports that we could do. So make sure you like and subscribe so you're notified every time that we go live. I, of course, am Ethan Game Day Gilman. I will bring you all the action from tonight's matchup here in Pine City between the Dragons and the Foley Falcons. This is a Section 6 AA section matchup between these two teams, and two teams with a similar record. Believe it or not, these two teams actually sit, both of them, at 3-4. Right now, the Foley Falcons are 1-4 in the section. The Dragons are 1-0. Dragons are 1-1 in their conference, as are the Foley Falcons. Foley plays in the Granite Ridge Conference. Pine City plays in the Great River Conference, and these two teams looking to go at it here tonight. And they will play similar teams, and but so far, not too many similar teams that they have played. In fact, looking at their schedules, they haven't played anyone similar except themselves here tonight. They will be playing against each other. Again, Pine City will wind up playing a lot of the teams that Foley has in the section, but not yet. That'll be later in their schedule, and Foley will play a couple of the teams that Pine City plays, like more, of course, the section teams, but other than that, not too many. Of course, they will play Rush City as well as Malacca. So the Pine City Dragons, as I mentioned, playing the Foley Falcons here tonight. The Foley Falcons are 3-4 on the year, 1-4 in the section, 1-1 in their conference. Their one conference win came against Pierce, 76-65, but they lost to Malacca just last Friday, 78-49. They started out the season with two straight losses, but then they won over Kimball, lost to Royalton, won to Piers and Long Prairie Grey Eagle. A nice two-game win streak in which they put up over 150 points in those two games, but then they lost to Malacca last Friday, which they failed to score 50 in that one. And looking in their losses, in all but two of them, they've managed to get to that 50-point mark. So it's hard to judge a team based off of just stats, especially when you're calling a game, because you could say, oh, well, they've only scored over 50 twice in their two losses, and if they can score over 50 points, they might win. But that's not the case, because they've scored 58 and 55 points in their losses, but those were losses of still 9 points each, and those losses were to Sauk Center and Royalton. So those are two 9-point losses, and you might be saying, well, that's a 3-possession to 4-possession game, depending on how you look at it, or maybe even 5-possession game, depending on how you look at it, whether they go for threes, well, that'd be a 3-possession game, and so on and so forth. But for Foley, it's going to be tough to see, because I haven't called a game for them this year yet, so I'm interested to see how they look. Of course, I recognize some of the names off of their roster from football. I only got to call one game of theirs during football, and that was the section semifinal game against Mora. That was a fun game to call. They came out on top, and again, I recognize some of these names, such as Dahman and Dollar, and there's a couple others on there that Novak, there we go, there's the other one. I couldn't see it for a moment. But those are some of the names that I recognize from football, and always nice to be able to recognize some names of who has played in a previous sport, because then you can kind of recognize the name or their number a little bit easier. I don't know, for me, that's just how my brain works. But looking over to your Pine City Dragons, again, they come into this game 3-4, 1-0 in section play, 1-1 in their conference. Their one conference loss came early when that 3-game losing streak happened against Painesville, East Central, and North Branch. East Central, of course, their lone conference loss to this point. Then they went on a 3-game win streak over the Christmas tournament up at Cloquet. They beat Mesabi East and Cloquet. Then they came back home and beat Rush City 75-62. That was a fun game as well. That one was not kind of how the score indicates that it might be. That one was a lot closer than what the score shows. That one more or less a 1-2 possession game, as the Dragons did get the victory by 13. But let me tell you, after that, the Tigers were on a mission, and they went out on to beat Hinckley 91-55. So then the Dragons most recently lost last Saturday to Chisago Lakes, a 3A school, 92-55. And Chisago Lakes, they've had a tough schedule the last couple years. They've been a young team as well the last couple of seasons. And the Wildcats over there seem to be kind of making a turn. Now, they're 4-5, but their 5 losses come against Zimmerman, Osceola, Hudson. Those are 2 Wisconsin teams, believe it or not, and Wisconsin can put out some pretty good product on the basketball court. They also lost to Coon Rapids and St. Francis, 2 pretty darn good teams in their own right. St. Francis, they only lost by 2. So if you're looking at it, Pine City has had some pretty tough losses here this season to a Chisago Lakes team who's pretty good, North Branch, who is also pretty good, and East Central, who, again, in their conference, that's always going to be a fun one and a tough one, especially between those 2 teams. We've heard from Coach Allen that those 2, they play together during the summer leagues, so they know each other pretty darn well, and when you see each other that often, there's not a whole lot that you can do to really kind of change things up or get them to see something that you haven't done before, because basically, well, they've seen it all. I'm interested to see how tonight's game will play out between these 2 teams being the homestanding Pine City Dragons and the visiting Foley Falcons. As we take a look at the section right now, Pine City Foley sitting around the middle lower mark of Section 6AA. At the top is, of course, Albany, 6-1. Then at St. Cloud Cathedral, Sakis, Melrose, Sauk Center, Mora, Malacca, Annandale, Pine City, Rush City, Foley. That's how the section plays out right now. And Mora is 1-1. They've only played 2. The one loss they have is against Albany. This is such a stacked conference. It's almost unfair, kind of when you look at it, for some of these teams, maybe like a Pine City or Rush City, to be in this section, because it is so jam-packed with talented teams. And I know if you were listening on Saturday to the broadcast over at Rush City, you heard me and Joe Lattimore talk about it. But it doesn't matter who you're playing, because any team on any given day could wind up beating you, and that's how this section really is. I mean, between Maple Lake at the bottom, Holdingford, Royalton, to all the way at the top, Albany, St. Cloud Cathedral, Osakis, any one of these teams can beat you on any given day. You just have to give them a chance, and a few balls will fall their way or whatever, and that's what I love about basketball. You can get a foul to go your way, or a basket to hit from downtown, or you can get some free throws that drop in that, maybe you wouldn't expect to. So that is why basketball can be so fun, and it can be so unpredictable, because the ball can just bounce your way sometimes, and maybe it's just your night. And when it's your night, it's hard to beat somebody when it's just everything's going their way. And we've seen that kind of happen for Pine City before, especially when they got the 3-game working. When they can get that 3-point shot falling, well, it's good luck, because they are hard to beat. Luke Wilson, one of the leaders of this Pine City Dragons team, he definitely knows how to get the 3-point shot working. He's one of their leaders with hitting the 3-point shot. But another one that I want to mention is Riley Cummings. Riley Cummings, one of the seniors on this team, a big group of seniors again. He makes a difference on the boards, because what he does is he gets so many rebounds, and we've seen it in the game against Rush City. That made a huge difference in their ability to come back, retake the lead, and hold on to the lead throughout the rest of the game. And Pine City, I think that's one of the biggest things they need to look for, is Riley Cummings, to get him on both the offense and defensive side of the boards, to make sure that he is there trying to get these rebounds. One of the guys that will come in off the bench is Aiden Austinson, a sophomore coming in off the bench, and man, is he fun to watch. He's, again, he comes in off the bench, only a sophomore, but man, does he play lights out when he's out there. He does not care. He's going to play with everything he's got, and he will give you everything he's got, and that's what I love about Aiden Austinson. Isaiah Haas, we had an interview with him after last week's game, and he said, you know what, I love to be physical. I love to throw my body around, and you can tell out there, and sometimes this Pine City team needs that physical presence. Another young man that comes off of the bench is Charlie Osmus, and he comes off the bench, and I just want to say that his mom came up to me and let me know that I'm I can call him Charlie, which is really nice to know, because a lot of times when I'm calling him Charles, it comes out kind of like it just did. I stutter, so I appreciate that. Again, anytime I can get kind of something like that from me, whether it's just somebody, a fan or a parent even, that is so helpful, so I can't say nothing but thank you to the people who are able to do that, and I appreciate her coming up to me and letting me know that, because, again, it helps me a lot more than she might know, but I appreciate that so much. So we're just about set for tip-off here. We're going to get our national anthem and our starting lineups, and then we will be set for tip-off here in Pine City. You're listening to Boys Basketball on 100.9 FM, and when we come back, we'll be set for tip-off.
No appointment? No problem. Injuries and feeling ill don't always happen during normal business hours. That's why Wellia Health has urgency services open 7 days a week. Urgency Services in Pine City offers the care you need when you need it. Hours are now 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week. No need to call or make an appointment. Just stop in. When tomorrow isn't soon enough and normal business hours just won't do, you can count on Wellia Health to be there for you. Live life well at Wellia Health.
Since 1967, Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley, has been where to go for all your building projects. Let Gerald Schmidt help you with designing, remodeling, or any new construction. Schmidt Construction specializes in residential home building, agricultural, industrial, and commercial buildings. With expert advice on all of your building projects and ideas, when you hire a contractor to take care of your building needs, you can't do better than Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley. 320-384-7901.
Most Americans do not have a proper will or estate plan in place. Many of you listening have been putting off that important task for a long time. Stop waiting and contact Spear & Swanson today. Spear & Swanson can help you put together a tight legal estate plan to make sure the assets you've been working so hard to obtain get passed on to your loved ones in the way that best fits you. Spear & Swanson, attorneys at law in Pine City. Call 320-629-7586. That's 320-629-7586.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
It's time to start pushing snow. Sorry, just the messenger. Thankfully, Minnesota Equipment in Isanti has affordable machines to do the heavy lifting. Any size property. Toro and Aaron's walk behind snow blowers. Oh, you got land, huh? How about John Deere lawn and garden tractors? Or a compact utility tractor? Minnesota Equipment has them in stock. Snow removal doesn't have to be backbreaking. Not if you get into Minnesota Equipment. Highway 65 in Isanti. Or visit minnesotaequipment.com.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank & Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/getThere. Franzen Bank & Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
Back here on 100.9 FM, WCMP, Ethan Game Day going with you. The starting lineups for the Foley Falcons will be number 1, Gavin Gross, number 2, Max Chmielewski, number 4, Derek Dahman, number 12, Ethan Novak, and number 25, Tegan Duvel. They will be wearing their white away uniforms, blue numbers out and letters outlined in black. They are head coached by Bennett LaRudd. On the other side for the Pine City Dragons, it'll be number 14, Isaiah Haas. Number 23, Luke Wilson. Number 31, Mason Charles. 32, Riley Cummings. And 33, Nick Plajek. They, of course, are head coached by Kyle Allen, wearing their home green uniforms with the white numbers and letters outlined in black. Just about set to get started. 18 minutes are up on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics custom braces or Invisalign with 3 locations in Pine City, Lindstrom, and Cambridge. You can find out more at embracemn.com. And getting to center court, looks like it'll be Tegan Duval and Riley Cummings, who will be out at center court for tip-off. And here comes the referee. Tip-off is won by the Dragons. Isaiah Haas will win the tip-off. He gives it off to Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson will get immediately to the far side of the court. He's trying to make a defender miss. He drives to the basket. His shot is up. No good. And the rebound taken there by Novak. Novak will give it off now to Gross. And Gavin Gross going to take it up the court here for the Falcons. He's going to drift to the far side, trying to get around Mason Charles. And Mason Charles just does a good job to edge him off. And now it's stolen away by Isaiah Haas. Haas will get it to the basket. Up and in for 2. And Isaiah Haas already showing off his defensive prowess out there on the court. Now with it is Chmielewski. Nice drive inside. Gives it off to Gavin Gross here on the near side. Tried to go inside to Chmielewski. Now over to Novak on the far side here for Duval. Now back to Chmielewski to Duval on the far side for 3. It's no good. Nick Plajek with the rebound. And he'll give it off quickly to Luke Wilson on the far side. Isaiah Haas back to Luke Wilson now. Luke Wilson guarded well there by Novak. Looking for a screen from Cummings. He gets it, but defense does a good job to get on him. Now over to near side corner for Charles. His shot is up, no good. Riley Cummings with the rebound. Back out to Haas. Charles trying to drive inside. Nice drive inside. Shot is up and in for 2 from Mason Charles. He's somebody I didn't mention in the pregame, but I definitely should have, because he has definitely improved from last season on his shooting and his defense as well. And that's going to be a foul on Dahman. Derek Dahman sold it a little bit. He was definitely bumped, though. I mean, that's definitely the right call, but I think he definitely gave a good acting performance as well. Nothing wrong with that, though. I mean, if you can act it a little bit more just to get a call, hey, more power to you. Novak with it, trying to drive inside, and you get a foul on Isaiah Haas, but I think more or less Novak kind of jumped back into Haas on that one. But they do not agree, and that'll be Haas' first, team's second. 16:35 to go here in the first half. 4-0 is the Dragon lead. Chmielewski will look to inbound for Foley. Wanted Novak, instead he'll get it to Dahman. Dahman drives just inside the free throw line, and he'll drop it in for 2. Cummings will give it inbound to Wilson. Wilson will work to the far side, give it off to Charles. Charles going to work just inside the perimeter. He had a lane if he wanted it. Instead gives it off to Haas. Haas will give it to Charles. Charles now drives inside, gives it out to Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson trying to drive, but the defense is there. Now gives it off Mason Charles. Mason Charles drives inside, gives it off. Near side corner for 3 from Luke Wilson. That's going to come up well short and into the hands of Gross. And he will give it up the court here to Chmielewski, and he finds a lane, drives inside, shot is up, and gets the kind roll as it falls in for 2, and we're tied at 4. Luke Wilson will waste no time on getting the inbound, and he works it up the court. Under 16 minutes to go. Top of the key, he's looking for a pass. He gives it off to Mason Charles on the far side. Charles will work to the top of the key. He wanted to give it back to Isaiah Haas. He will. Haas gives it off to Charles, and Charles will give it off now to Wilson. Wilson for 3. That's in! Luke Wilson gets his first 3 to drop to make it 7-4 Dragons. Gross with it on the far side, and lob pass over here to Chmielewski, back to Gross. And the Dragon defense falling behind a little bit here. You can see the speed and the passing kind of catching the Dragons off guard. Oh my goodness, a floater from Gross. That falls in. Gross, a beautiful little floater there from just outside the paint. Gets it to fall. 7-6, 15:05 to go. Mason Charles driving inside. Back out to Luke Wilson for 3 again. Off the mark, and rebound that time. Picked up by Chmielewski. Quickly up the court to Dahman. Dahman drives inside. That's got to be a charge on the offense. It is! Dahman's going to be called for the offensive charge, and that'll be the first foul on the Falcons. Derek Dahman with the first team foul for Foley. Looks like Haas and Plajek check out. And in for them will be Charlie Osmus and Aiden Austinson. Wilson will take it up the court for the Dragons on the far side. He stops, passes it off to Austinson. Austinson near side elbow, and he nearly has it stolen away. Nice move by Austinson. Now he has to give it away. Oh, and that one, nice job by Luke Wilson to bring that one down one-handed. Now he makes the defender back up just a little bit. Wow. Luke Wilson saved that possession with that one-handed grab off the pass. Austinson really had no chance, but he did a good job. Luke Wilson drives inside, his shot is blocked, but they're going to call a foul. I got to respectfully disagree on that one. I will respectfully disagree with that call as it's on Novak, their team's second, and Wilson is at the line for 2. First one's up and good. Make it 8-6, 14:21 to go on that Embrace Orthodontic scoreboard. Luke Wilson sets up for his second. And that one's good as well. He makes both to make it 9-6. 14:21 to go. Inbound quickly to Dahmen, and Dahmen on the near side gives it off back to Gross on the far side. Back to Dahmen. Mason Charles thought about trying to go after it, but smartly does not. Gross top the key for 3. And, yep, it's in. I mean, I could tell as soon as he let it go that it was going to be good. Gross for 3. Can't leave him alone. Wilson, top of the key, gives it to Austinson here on the near side elbow. Austinson back to Wilson. Wilson on the far side elbow, trying to drive inside, spin move, loses possession for a moment, and then he'll give it off to Charles. Charles drives inside, banks it off the glass, and it's in for 2 from Mason Charles to make it 11-9. Just great ball movement here from the Dragons early on, and no panic when they're getting guarded inside. And alley-oop is no good. Rebound by Wilson. And oh my goodness, the handles from Wilson as he drives inside. Reverse layup is in. Oh, but we have a Dragon down. And we'll take a commercial break.
Choose the right divorce attorney. Spear and Swanson will make sure the judge knows your side of the story. Let them help you with your divorce, custody, child support, harassment, or orders for protection. They also handle DWIs and other legal matters. The right divorce attorney does make a difference. That's why you need to choose Spear and Swanson, attorneys at law in Pine City. Call 320-620-7586.
Back here at 100.9, Mason Charles was the injured Dragon. Meanwhile, Luke Wilson gets the and one to fall, but he is able to walk off, well, limp off, I should say, and he's on the sidelines now as Ashton Seals a little too aggressive on that one, and he's going to pick up the foul. That'll be his first, the Dragons' third team foul. Inbound back in here to Dahmen. And Dahmen has this one go off of his hands, out of bounds, and it will be a turnover, and it will go back to the Dragons. Luke Wilson, as Mason Charles is going to limp to the taping room. Hopefully he's all right. Main thing is player safety. That's the biggest thing. Aiden Austin gets a screen from Riley Cummings, and he'll give it off on the far side to Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson looks back to head coach Kyle Allen for the call. And now Wilson will give it off near side here to Austinson. Austinson, top of the key, bounce pass to Luke Wilson, who is on the far side, gets a screen from Cummings, but Cummings has to back off. Now to Austinson. Austinson will put up a 3. That's going to go long, and rebound here by Duvel. He'll give it off to Chmielewski. Chmielewski working on Osmus. And Chmielewski trying to give it inside to Ruckert. And he'll get fouled. So that foul going to go against Pine City's Aiden Austinson. His first, team's fourth. Riley Cummings comes off. Lamont Sidney in. And back in is Isaiah Haas. Lamont Sidney nearly had the steal. The shot is no good. And, it's going to go off of Isaiah Haas. And what a smart play there by the Falcons' Ruckert as he flew in to the out-of-bounds section, but threw it back in off of Haas, and Foley will hold on to it. This inbound pass is tipped by Lamont Sidney. Now they'll bounce pass here to Duvel. Duvel tries to go over Haas. It's no good, and Haas will come down with the rebound. He's so physical inside, and now to Luke Wilson. He finds a lane. Good luck catching up. Oh, and he misses it. That is one he does not miss. Just overshot it a little bit, and now coming the other way is Chmielewski. He'll give it off to Ruckert. Ruckert tries to drive inside. He wants to give it off now. He does to Chmielewski. Chmielewski nearly had it stolen away by Wilson. Now inside to Ruckert. Ruckert puts it off the glass, and he gets the kind roll in for 2. 14-11 is the score. Luke Wilson on the near side. Quick pass, Isaiah Haas wide open for 3. That's off the mark. Coming out of nowhere is Austinson, and his shot is no good. That's going to be rebounded by Gross. And Gross guarded well by Ashton Seals, and he quickly gets around him. He'll put up a little floater, and an offensive charge. Lamont Sidney draws the charge on the Falcons, and Lamont Sidney, that's a correct call. I mean, that's a great job by Lamont Sidney to be there and just take it. That's a tough physical play, and you know you're going to fall to the court, but nice job there by Lamont Sidney. Luke Wilson has it far side, back out, top of the key for Isaiah Haas. Fadeaway 3 is good. 17-11 on the 3 from Isaiah Haas with 10:55 to go. Gavin Gross has it on the near side, gives it, and now another give to Dahmen on the pass from Chmielewski. Back to Chmielewski, nearly stolen away by Austinson. Now he's going to drive inside. Lamont Sidney there. Shot is no good. Rebounded by Isaiah Haas. Quickly up the court go the Dragons. Luke Wilson's going to hang on to it for a second and travel. Yep. And unfortunately, that is going to be a travel. I think he tried to draw a little bit of a foul, but he could not. And checking into the game for the Falcons is going to be number 11, Chase Dollar. No, it's not spelled that way. It's Dahler. Oh, and the referee not liking what he's hearing from Bennett LaRudd, and he done told him, hey, gotta be careful. As Aiden Austinson picks up his second foul, 10.5 to go. And now Ruckert with it, gives it off and passes well out of the reach of Dahmen, and Dahmen was waiting there. He was open, probably had a quick shot opportunity, but pass goes behind him, and now Charlie Osmus will come in for Aiden Austinson. Osmus will inbound to Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson will bring it up the court. He's pointing where he wants his team to be lined up. He gives it off to Isaiah Haas on the far side, back to Lamont Sidney. Lamont Sidney looks at the basket, and got away with one there, and he'll give it back outside to Luke Wilson for 3. That's going to come up just short. Ashton Seals right there for the rebound. His shot is up and no good, but he was fouled. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. And again, if your teammate doesn't make a basket, one of the best things you can do is be a great teammate and go and get the rebound. So Ashton Seals at the line to shoot 2. First one is up and no good. Mason Zimmer checks in for the first time here for Foley. We're in number 3. If you're listening on the radio, the Pine City Dragons are going right to left on your radio dial. Falcons going left to right. Seals, second one is no good, and it's going to be rebounded here by Duvel. And he'll give it off now to Zimmer. Zimmer, top of the key. He's got some quick feet and quick dribble. He gives it off now to Gross. Gross tries to drive inside. Shot is up and no good. Looks like we're going to get a foul here on Pine City. So quick whistles so far here tonight. Not really letting them get too physical. And again, that's just, it depends on who's calling the game. Sometimes they'll let you play, sometimes they won't. And this one quickly inbounded to Duvel. He puts it up off the glass, in for 2. 17-13 is the score, 9:40 to go. Wilson on the far side to Lamont Sidney. Sidney pauses for a moment, then drives inside. Oh, they got it. No way. They got Lamont Sidney for a travel. I think they were just a second too early on that call. I think they needed to wait because I didn't think he took the 3. I think he had one more to give. either way, it's back with the Falcons, and swatting that one away is Lamont Sidney. And Lamont Sidney going to get a word from the referee. They're just going to tell him, hey, gotta watch. You just got to be careful. We don't want to have to give you a technical because you're getting in his face. I mean, Lamont, he definitely got in the face a little bit, and now this one is stolen by Isaiah Haas. Luke Wilson has it. Nice move, driving inside. It's up and in for 2. 19-13, the Dragon lead. And he's going to work through a double team that time. Is Gross, and a foul going to be called. Not sure who this one's going to be on. There was 2. I think he said 23 or 24. I could not tell. I'm so blind, I apologize. He's going to call it on Lamont Sidney. Team 7th, his first, and this will be a 1-1 situation as looks like Wilson, Osmus, and Ashton Seals will come off. It's Riley Cummings, Mason Charles, and I believe Austinson who check in. First one is up and good from Gavin Gross. Lamont Sidney, he's so ready. He's ready to inbound, but he gets one more. 19-14 to score. 9:08 to go here in the first half. This one is up. No good. And rebounded here by Mason Charles. Austinson gives it off to Charles. Charles gives it off now to Isaiah Haas on the far side in the corner. Works to the top of the key. Quickly inside to Austinson. Nice move to let the defender pass by. And Austinson, you can hear the oohs and ahs from the crowd. That was a nasty move from Aiden Austinson. 21-14, 8:45 to go. This one is intercepted by Aiden Austinson. The lob pass was just a little too high for the Falcons. And he will now give it inside to Riley Cummings. Off the glass and in for 2. Beautiful movement and passing by this Dragons team right now, and they now lead 23-14 with 8:33 to go. Timeout called here by the Foley Falcons on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Your Dragons lead 23-14. Dr. Sievers is committed to providing world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. You can start today at embracemn.com. The Pine City Dragons have been on a nice tear here to begin this game. The Falcons, give them credit. They have kept it close, and they've got some speed out there. And if you're not careful, they're gonna mess you up a little bit with that speed. And they've flashed it here tonight. But unfortunately, there have been a couple calls that have gone both ways that some the teams haven't liked, or they have really liked. It's kind of been back and forth. Some of the calls that they'll get, and some of the calls they won't. And again, so far, I think it's a little early to be judging the referees. So I'm going to hold off on that, but still a pretty good first half performance here by the Pine City Dragons. One of the biggest things I think right now for them that they need to even think about is fouls. They're in a little bit of foul trouble right now. They've got 17 fouls. That's team-wise that they need to worry about. They have 2 players with 2 fouls on themselves. It's Austinson and Seals, so those 2 are going to have to be careful. But so far, man, the defense right now a little bit behind the speed of the Falcons, but man, the Dragons are making up with it with big-time plays, smart plays, the blocks, and the rebounds. Student section for Pine City getting into it as Chmielewski has it. Gives it off the far side to Zimmer, and now going inside for, that is Duvel, who puts it up off the glass in for 2. 23-16. Sidney gives it to Austinson to work it up the court. Austinson gives it off to Sidney. Sidney, one-on-one, driving inside. Pass it all the way far side to Austinson for 3. It's in and out. And Duvel going to come down with the rebound there for the Falcons. He's going to give it off on the far side. I cannot see the number. That's $11. Now to Zimmer. Zimmer trying to drive inside on Austinson, and he's going to give it to Duvel, who tried an alley-oop. It's knocked away. Shot is up by Dahmen, and it's no good, and then it will fall out of bounds. Last touched by Duvel, and Lamont Sidney was kind of asking for a foul. Probably could have got one, but I think it was a good no whistle there. So the Dragons will inbound. It's Austinson who takes it up the court in the place of Luke Wilson, who's getting a rest. Lamont Sidney, his shot is up, no good. Maybe could have been a foul, but no foul called. Dahmen will get the rebound here for the Falcons. Quickly up the court. They go. They're trying to work it inside. Haas bumps the body, and he'll give it off to Dahmen, who puts it up and in for 2, saving it there. I didn't see the number, so I apologize. But now the Falcons on a little bit of a tear. They've scored 4 straight points. Mason Charles for three. That's well long, and it will just fall into the lap of Dollar. Quickly up the court they go. Going inside to Dollar once again. And this ball is tipped and almost stolen away by Charles, but we're going to get a foul, I believe, on the Falcons here. That's going to go against Chmielewski. It'll be his first and the team's sixth. And looks like we're going to get a timeout called here by the Pine City Dragons. 16 fouls for the Falcons, 7 for the Dragons, and the Dragons lead 23-18 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard with 6:50 to go. Embrace Orthodontics, helping you find a smile you will embrace forever. Find out more, just go to their website, embracemn.com. And I want to thank you for tuning in here tonight, whether you're listening on 100.9 FM or watching from WCMPradio.com to our YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in here tonight as the Dragons are hosting a Section 6AA opponent in the Foley Falcons this evening. It's been a fun back-and-forth game so far, and it's gotten a little chippy, too. I can't wait to see what this one turns into here in the second half between these two teams. It's going to be a fun one. Luke Wilson will check back into the game here for the Dragons. He's double-teamed, gets around the double-team, and now he'll give it off on the near side elbow for Austinson. His shot is up and no good. Sidney got fouled hard, makes it drop, and he'll go to the line for the possible three-point play. Looked like Sidney got hit in the face there. Lamont, I should say. Sidney's his last name. And don't know who they called that on. Sidney will make the three-point play. They called the foul on Zimmer, by the way, for the Falcons. And now the Falcons have it up the court. And Luke Wilson will get credit for a steal there. He gets the steal, finds a lane, drives up inside, instead gives off to Riley Cummings. Oh, what a beautiful pass from Luke Wilson to Riley Cummings, and he'll put it up and in for two. 28-18 is the lead. Quickly come the Falcons. Chmielewski nearly lost it. Instead, he'll give it off. Ooh! And Dahman falls to the court hard, and he's hurt. That's going to be a stinger. He's up, though. Dahman, one tough young man. He's going to walk it off. Wow, he fell hard on his back, on his lower back. And going to get the foul on Lamont Sidney, unfortunately. I don't think there was absolutely nothing vicious on that by Lamont Sidney. They were all going up for the ball, and what happened was Dahman came down, and when he came down, he hit one of the Pine City players, and it threw him off. So his feet were not beneath him, and he fell right on his lower back. He is up, though, and he is at the free throw line, thank goodness. And I don't know what the referees are discussing there. This can't be even close to being a personal or technical. There was nothing malicious about that. I mean, if you're going to say it's malicious, then you got three players to call it malicious on. I'm not sure what the conversation was about. I'm not going to speculate, as Dahman's first one is up and no good. Again, we just hope for his safety and hope that he's going to be all right and good to go for the rest of this game. Never want to see anybody injured. That's the last thing we want. 28-18 is the Dragon lead, 6:09 to go. Dahman missed his first, but looking to convert the second. And it rings home. It swung around the rim a couple of times, but it finally dropped through to make it 28-19. Luke Wilson quickly up the court on the far side. Pauses for a moment, looks for a screen from Riley Cummings. And Luke Wilson will continue to take it near side. He works into the elbow now, looking for another screen from Cummings. Now gets the pass off to Ashton Seals. Seals will give it right back to Wilson on the far side. Wilson trying to drive inside. He'll back it back out outside the perimeter. Still on the far side of the court. He's going to put up a long three. The shot is up, no good. Tried to maybe get a foul call, but he does not. And the rebound taken there by Ruckert. Quickly up the court go the Falcons to Zimmer. And now to Chmielewski. Out to three for Dahman. Off the front of the rim. No good. And it's Cummings who comes down with the rebound. Quickly up the court for Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson trying to get outside. He drives inside. Gets that ball nearly stolen away, but he comes down with it. And he'll bring it to the top of the key, kind of reset things for the offense, and the offense will switch up just a little bit. And another timeout going to be called here by Pine City. I don't think Kyle Allen was comfortable with what the offensive look, kind of what they had on offense, so he'll call a timeout. 5:11 to go here in the first half. The Dragons lead 28-19 over the Foley Falcons on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics, your customized smile journey starts with a free consultation. The team at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible with custom braces or Invisalign. You can find out more at embracemn.com. 28-19 here with about 5 minutes to go in the first half. Over on our other station, 106.5 FM, AM 1350, you can listen to the Pine City Dragon boys hockey team as they host St. Cloud Cathedral tonight. That should be a good one. That's a section game for the Dragons, and that should be a fun one as well. St. Cloud Cathedral, pretty darn good hockey team, but Pine City, also a scrappy, good hockey team in their own right as well, so that should be a fun one over there. Andy Beckstrom on the call in that game. Thanks to him for calling the game. Thanks to everyone who we have to call these games, whether it's Joel Lattimore, Adam Hefty, Andy Beckstrom. I just appreciate those guys so much. They make my job so much easier. Out of the timeout, the Dragons will get set to inbound. It's Seals who inbounds to Luke Wilson. He'll give it back to Seals, back to Wilson, back over to Charlie Osmus, and his shot is up and no good. It's Nick Plajic who comes down with the rebound. Luke Wilson will give it off to Charlie Osmus again. Now back out to Luke Wilson for three. It's out! And picked up on the rebound by Duvel. And now he'll give it off to Dahman. Dahman lob pass here to Zimmer. Zimmer bounce pass inside to Dahman, and he puts it up and in for two. Beautiful passing there by the Falcons, and they make it a 7-point deficit for themselves as the Dragons bring it back to the front court with 4:35 to go. Osmus back to Wilson. Now inside to Cummings. Back top of the key for Luke Wilson for three. And you can't leave him that wide open, because he'll make you pay. 31-21 with 4.5 to go. Quickly up the court comes Zimmer, and he makes Osmus step back a couple of feet, and that'll give Zimmer an open opportunity for three, and he says, I see your three. I'll answer with my own. Osmus, that's a tough job for one guy to cover him. But he did a good job, and the best that he could do there was not foul, and he didn't. Inside to Cummings, now outside to Seals, back to Wilson, top of the key. Now over to Osmus, back to Cummings, over to Ashton Seals, now to Nick Plajic inside, back out to Seals. Seals fakes the pass, goes inside to Cummings, nearly lost it, back out to Charlie Osmus, now to Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson had it poked out, and he's going to be fouled, and he'll go to the line for a 1-and-1. I believe that's Adam Zimmer, or Mason Zimmer, I apologize. I believe I've been calling him Adam Zimmer all night. I greatly apologize. That's going to be on Mason Zimmer, not Adam, Mason Zimmer. Apologize to any Foley Falcon fans listening. It is Mason Zimmer. We're in number 3. Picks up his second foul, team's 8th, and the line to shoot the 1-and-1, but it's no good. Ashton Seals will come down with the rebound after Luke Wilson missed the 1-and-1 opportunity. The shot is up from Wilson, and it's good. Luke Wilson for 3 to make it 34-24. Another 3-point game. Here come the Falcons, and dating it to Duvel, went through his hands, but he gets it back to Dahman. His shot is up, no good, and he's fouled. So he'll get to go to the line and shoot 2 as well. I mean, the quickness by this Falcon team has just been coming out here these last couple minutes, and again, got to be careful, because if you don't get back in your transition defense quick enough, they are going to burn you. They have a couple times here as Dahman makes his first. Dahman makes them both and makes it a 34-26 game. Luke Wilson will give it off to Mason Charles on the far side. Back to Wilson, now to Haas, and Haas gives it off to Luke Wilson, who has to grab it, fingertip, and give it back now to Haas, now to Sidney. Sidney back to Haas. Haas for three in the near side corner. That's well long. Coming up the rebound is Mason Charles. Charles between the leg pass to Luke Wilson for three. That's no good. And who else but Riley Cummings comes down with the rebound to put it back up and in for two to make it 36-26. Under 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Gavin Gross will take it up the court off the inbound, and he's directing traffic out there. He gets double teamed, and it's poked out by Riley Cummings, stolen away by Mason Charles. He's going to take it to the basket, but he was fouled, and he'll go to the line and shoot two. Mason Charles gets the steal on the poke from Riley Cummings, Riley Cummings. And now Mason Charles at the line to shoot two. And that one is up and good from Mason Charles. Make it 37-26 with 2:41 to go. And the second one is good as well from Mason Charles to make it 38-26. Ashton Seals will check back into the game for Lamont Sidney. Lamont Sidney he doesn't have a ton of points. He has 3 plus a block, but man, his defensive presence out there has just been, it's been a difference. You can tell when he's out there. Quickly up the court go the Falcons, and they quickly get off to Chmielewski. Chmielewski tries to go inside to Dahmen. Dahmen falling away, gets it up. It's no good. It will go out of bounds. Last touch, by Dahmen. And he almost got it back, but he just could not hold on to it. I got to imagine that some of the sweat from the player's fingers gets on that ball and makes it hard to hold on to. I can't imagine that it doesn't make a difference. This pass is passed inside to Cummings, but it's stolen away by Novak for the Falcons. And now it's Chmielewski with it. He gives it off near side here to Mason Zimmer. And now to Duvel. Duvel tries to work inside. His shot is up. No good. Rebound still up for grabs. Going to be taken there. I believe it was Dahmen again. It was. Dahmen gets the rebound. And it looks like now we're going to get a foul here on Pine City. I believe that'll be Ashton Seals with his third and the team's 10th. Dahmen's first one is up and good to make it 38-27. Seals will check out in for him is Nick Plajek. Dahmen looking to convert both. This one is up and good as well. So Derek Dahmen makes them both to make it 38-28 with 2 minutes to go. Luke Wilson up the court. Looks to the far side, gives it far side to Haas. Haas right back to Wilson. Wilson thought about a long three, gives it to Charles inside to Cummings. Cummings wanted Plajek, and this is going to be tipped and stolen away by Duvel. They're going to get a foul? How is that not a jump ball? Well, it's going to be 2 shots here for Foley. They're going to get Cummings for that. I'm going to disagree on that one. I think that should have been a jump ball, but either way, it's going to be Tegan Duvel at the line to shoot 2. First one is no good. That'll keep the score 38-28 with 1:51 to go. Riley Cummings will check out. In for him is Aiden Ostenson. And he gets the second one to fall, does Duvel. Make it 38-29. Luke Wilson will give it to Ostenson. Ostenson works it up the court. 1:45 to go. He bounce passes over to Mason Charles on the far side. Back to Ostenson. Ostenson wanted to go near side. Gives it to Luke Wilson. To Mason Charles for 3. That one's no good. And coming down with the rebound is Dahmen, and he's going to get fouled. And he'll go back to the line and shoot 2. And you cannot, if you're the Dragons right now, be fouling like that because you are just giving Foley free opportunities. And it's been your defense right now that has come up big, but Ostenson going to get his 3rd. Foul trouble has been kind of something I mentioned earlier, and now all of a sudden the Dragons are into some serious foul trouble. They've got 2 players with 3 fouls, 1 with 2. And Dahmen makes his first, and again, Dahmen's not the guy you want at the line right now. He has found a rhythm, and he is definitely the Falcons' leading scorer with 11 points, 12 including that one, and if he makes both of it, it'll be 13. And it will. 13 points now for Dahmen to make it 38-32 with 1.5 minutes to go, and Luke Wilson Am I missing something? They say I have it 38-31. It should be 32, I believe. 1:23 to go. 1:20 now. Luke Wilson gives it off. Charlie Osmus. Back to Luke Wilson. Now over to Haas. Back to Wilson. Looks like they might just try and drain this clock as much as they can. Take as much time off the clock as they can. And trying at the last second shot. But we'll see. That's a lot of time. Charlie Osmus lost it for a second. Bounce pass inside to Charles all the way across the court to Haas. Back over to Luke Wilson. Wilson gets around one defender, and it looks like they will. It says 38-31. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be 32. Wilson will just continue to drain the clock. He'll pass it to Osmus again. Now to Charles. To Osmus again. And Nick Plajek loses it. Official steal by Chmielewski, and that's what you don't want if you're the Dragons. Now you took a bunch of time off the clock, and now Foley has a chance for the last second score as Dahmen trips. He gets to the basket. His shot was no good, but another foul came after that, I believe. It's going to be on Luke Wilson, his first. And again, Dahmen not the guy you want to be fouling. Dahmen makes the first. Oh, it should be 33, folks. I'm pretty darn sure. And the second one is good as well. So Dahmen, again, he has been their hot hand. And he's the one you want to keep it away from. So Luke Wilson's going to take his time to get this up the court, because they are going to look for that last second shot. 38-33, which I'm pretty sure should be 38-34. I'm not sure. I've been wrong before, so. 8 seconds to go. Wilson will give it off to Mason Charles. Back to Wilson. Wilson makes the defender miss. Shot is up. Oh, they're calling that a foul all the rest of the game, but not now. Interesting. It was rebounded. Or stolen. Yeah, rebounded. Interesting end of the half here. Very interesting. They've been calling that foul all night, and they didn't there. But either way, it's been a fun first half. Back and forth these two teams have gone. We said at 38-33 possibly. I think it might be 34. Maybe it's 32. Maybe it's 50. I don't know. But we'll come back. We'll get everything sorted out. And the Dragons lead at halftime over the Foley Falcons, 38-33 or 4. Either way, they do lead. So we'll take commercial break here. Word from some of our fine sponsors, and when we come back, we'll recap that first half and let you know what's coming up here and what some of the keys I think are to the game for the Pine City Dragons. Of course, you're listening to this game on 100.9 FM. WCMP.
The mushroom melt is back at A&W. How does this sound? Sautéed seasoned mushrooms and onions with melted Swiss cheese on your choice of a juicy burger or grilled chicken. Then add golden French fries and a medium soft drink. It's the mushroom melt and fries combo at A&W. Now, top it off with a classic A&W root beer float featuring vanilla soft serve and made fresh root beer, all in a frosty mug. Or how about the A&W root beer freeze? Signature combos and delicious treats always at your local A&W restaurant in Pine City.
No appointment? No problem. Injuries and feeling ill don't always happen during normal business hours. That's why Wellia Health has urgency services open 7 days a week. Urgency Services in Pine City offers the care you need when you need it. Hours are now 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week. No need to call or make an appointment. Just stop in. When tomorrow isn't soon enough and normal business hours just won't do, you can count on Wellia Health to be there for you. Live life well at Wellia Health.
Since 1967, Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley, has been where to go for all your building projects. Let Gerald Schmidt help you with designing, remodeling, or any new construction. Schmidt Construction specializes in residential home building, agricultural, industrial, and commercial buildings. With expert advice on all of your building projects and ideas. When you hire a contractor to take care of your building needs, you can't do better than Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley. 320-384-7901.
Most Americans do not have a proper will or estate plan in place. Many of you listening have been putting off that important task for a long time. Stop waiting and contact Spear & Swanson today. Spear & Swanson can help you put together a tight legal estate plan to make sure the assets you've been working so hard to obtain get passed on to your loved ones in the way that best fits you. Spear & Swanson, attorneys at law in Pine City. Call 320-629-7586. That's 320-629-7586.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a four-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
It's time to start pushing snow. Sorry, just the messenger. Thankfully, Minnesota Equipment in Ice Santee has affordable machines to do the heavy lifting. Any size property. Toro and Aaron's walk behind snow blowers. Oh, you got land, huh? How about John Deere lawn and garden tractors? Or a compact utility tractor? Minnesota Equipment has them in stock. Snow removal doesn't have to be backbreaking. Not if you get into Minnesota Equipment. Highway 65 in Ice Santee. Or visit minnesotaequipment.com.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank & Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/getThere. Franzen Bank & Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
Back here on 100.9 FM, WCMP, Ethan Game Day Gilman, bringing you action here from this game between the Pine City Dragons and the Foley Falcons. We've got 38-33, the Dragons leading the Falcons on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics, they'll do all the insurance heavy lifting for you. And if you don't have insurance, you can ask about financing options. They'll find a plan to fit your budget at embracemn.com. 38-33 is the Pine City Dragons lead, and as adamant as I was that it was 34, what I did is I gave one of the free throws for Foley that they had made. They missed one of them, and I gave them one more. So I had one extra point on the board, and that's one of those where it's like, oh, it hurts the pride a little bit. It hurts the pride a little bit, but I take full responsibility of that wrong call by me. So it is 38-33. I just had the wrong points, and you got to take it easy on me. I suck at math, to be fair. I am garbage at math at best. So, but still, I apologize. It is 38-33. But the Foley Falcons, they are led in scoring by Derek Dahman, and it's really no surprise. He started out a little bit slow, but as he got going, man, was he hot. And it was his speed, his ability to just cut inside on the defense. He just kind of lulls them to sleep a little bit, and you kind of wonder, how can he be lulling you to sleep? I mean, he's showing you speed all game long, but man, he just does a good job of, I don't know if he's dead-legging it or if he's just giving them a 1-2 and then drag inside, but man, he is doing really well here tonight, and he's doing it from the perimeter. He's working on the perimeter, and then he just cuts inside real quick and finds that lane, and he's making the hard shots as well. He is getting a lot of contact inside, and he doesn't care. I mean, there was one where he went up and he fell right on his lower back. He came up, walked it off, got back to the free throw line, made both free throws, or made one of two, I apologize. But yeah, it's been a fun one here for this Foley Falcon team. They have cut what was once a 10-point lead for the Dragons down to now 5 with 3:20 to go here in halftime, and that was in large part due to Derek Dahman, and also in large part due to the Falcons forcing the Dragons into some fouls. The Dragons had 13 team fouls in that first half. For the Falcons, as I mentioned, Derek Dahman led them in scoring with 15, 5 rebounds from Tegan Duvel. Steals, they had 3 and 9 total fouls for them in the first half. On the other side for the Pine City Dragons, it was Luke Wilson with 16 points, 3 rebounds for Riley Cummings and Nick Plajic. They had 13 team fouls. 3 fouls for Aiden Ostinson and Ashton Seals, 2 for Lamont Sidney and Riley Cummings. It's been kind of back and forth on the fouls here tonight. They've kind of let it go sometimes. They've been quick to the whistle at times. But, and again, both teams have to play with the referees. Sometimes they're going to let those calls go. They're going to let the teams play it out. Sometimes they're going to be a little bit quick on the trigger. Sometimes they want to make sure that it doesn't get too physical. So it all depends on what the referees and what referees you get, because all of them are different. But both teams have to play with it, and you have to play through it sometimes. And both of these teams are going to have to do that here tonight. We've seen some fouls that are like, oh, really? For both sides. And both teams are going to have to play through it. But for both these teams, I'm excited to see this second half. For Pine City, I think you're going to have to not get out of your element on offense. And what I mean by that is don't rush things. You don't need to be going and playing too fast. You don't need to try and hurry it up. What you've been doing has been working. The passing, then getting it open on the perimeter and allowing those guys to get the rebound inside and get the second chance opportunities. On defense, you're going to have to protect inside. What they're doing is they're doing a good job of opening up the perimeter shots, but what instead of taking the three-point shot, they're going to drive it inside on you and force you to foul, and that is what they did so well later in that first half, is that's what they did. They opened up the perimeter shot, and what Foley did is they would kind of fake the three, then pass it inside, a lot of times to Dahmen, and he would go inside. Whether he made the basket or not, he would draw a foul, he would go to the line, usually make the basket, so they're going to have to watch that. And Foley, being one of our other local teams, for them, a key to this second half, you're going to have to eliminate the perimeter shots. You're going to have to watch Luke Wilson. You got to make sure you're covering Luke Wilson, because if you leave him wide open, well, he's going to kill you with the threes. Also, be careful with the fouls. I know that Pine City had the fouls go their way, but Pine City, they do a good job, too, of drawing fouls, so be careful with the fouls. And also, I think on defense, just make sure you're getting the rebound. I think rebounds here in the second half for both teams are going to be huge, but if you're the Foley Falcons, get the rebounds on defense. Don't give Pine City any second chance opportunities. On offense for the Foley Falcons, I think just keep doing what you're doing. It's worked, and maybe, just maybe, I mean, maybe you won't have to, because they cut the lead down to 5, but maybe step up the intensity and the speed just a little bit. You have speed on Pine City right now, and I think that the Falcons should use that speed to their advantage here in the second half and see if they can't create a little bit more of those mismatches that they got late in the second half. 18 minutes are back up on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics, custom braces or Invisalign with 3 locations in Pine City, Lindstrom, and Cambridge. EmbraceMN.com. Derek Dahmen will get things started on the inbound for Foley. He'll get it inbounded here to Chmielewski. Chmielewski will bring it up, pass center court, works it far side to Dahmen. Dahmen gives inside to Duvel. And now inside to Duvel again, and his shot is up and good to make it 38-35. Luke Wilson will work it up the court on the near side. Notice how they're not giving any pressure until the front court, and I think that's intentional here from the Falcons because they're going to do everything they can not to leave Luke Wilson open like that. The shot is up and no good, and Duvel right there for the rebound, and so far so good for the Falcons. As Chmielewski has it, he'll give it off to Dahmen, and nearly stolen away by Haas. Haas, he just plays, I mean, he loves defense. You can tell when he's out there. Duvel, he only had the rebound, but it was knocked out, and Nick Plajic is going to come down with it. Luke Wilson has it. He's got great handles, and he'll give it to Charles. Luke Wilson thought about 3. Now he'll drive inside, and I'm not sure that won't be an offensive foul. Nope, they're going to get Novak for the Falcons with it. That'll be his 3rd, team's first of the second half. Thought they might get Wilson with a little bit of a stiff arm, but instead they called it on Novak. And Jason Charles inbounds to Wilson. Back to Wilson from Charles. All the way across court to Isaiah Haas, and he wanted to go to Wilson, but great defense by Novak. Instead he'll give it off to Plajic. Back to Haas, but that one is knocked out of bounds by the Falcons, and Dragons will inbound it on the far side. It's Isaiah Haas. The Dragons in the second half going left to right. Falcons going right to left. Dragons do have it in their front court. It's Luke Wilson. looking for a screen. Didn't really get the screen he wanted, so we'll give it off to Isaiah Haas on the far side, and he'll give it right back to Luke Wilson on that very same far side. He gets a screen from Cummings this time, and he'll bounce pass it now to Mason Charles, and that bit of an ill-advised pass. Neither of them were really looking at the pass, and now Isaiah Haas from the near side corner. Off the side of the rim, no good, and rebounded by Chmielewski. Chmielewski has it near side for the Falcons. They trail by 3 with 15 to go. Chmielewski gets around one defender. He'll lob it up. No good on the shot. And coming down with the rebound is Riley Cummings. Quickly up the court, Nick Plajek up and in for 2, and quick passing. And great job by Nick Plajek to be aware of where he's at on the court and quickly get into the front court and be wide open for that shot. And make it 40-35. Now trying to drive is Gavin Gross. His shot is up and no good. It's going to be into the hands of Mason Charles. He looks. He goes up the court. Ooh, could have been called for a push there, but he is not, and he'll put it up and in for 2. 42-35. The Falcons will work it back up the court. Into their front court now. That one's nearly stolen away by Nick Plajek, and the shot is up. No good. Rebounded here by Isaiah Haas. That shot was by Novak, and Wilson now has it, and he's going to work it inside. Instead, he'll work back outside now in the near side corner. Gives it off to Isaiah Haas. He wanted to go far side to Charles. He will. Charles will work back to the top of the key. Now gives it off to Luke Wilson here on the near side elbow. Wilson drives back to the top of the key. Gives it off to Isaiah Haas on the far side. Right back to Wilson. He looks for a screen from Cummings. He'll give it off now to Mason Charles. Isaiah Haas, near side 3, no good. Riley Cummings goes up for the rebound and comes down with it. Now to Luke Wilson, top the key for 3. That's no good. Riley Cummings tried to come up with the rebound, but they're going to get him for a foul. It's going to be a push, even though a lot of people will call that an over the back. There's no such call. It's going to be a push. That'll be the first team foul for the Dragons here in the second half. Just under 15 minutes to go. That'll be the third for Riley Cummings, and they've got a couple guys in some foul trouble here. So they'll have to be careful. Haas and Plajek come to the bench. Charlie Osmus and Aiden Austinson back in. Quick passing. Nice passing there by the Falcons from Gross to Chmielewski, and now to Dahman, back to Chmielewski on the far side for 3. No good, and coming down with the rebound that time is Luke Wilson, and his ability to dribble through a double team is just unmatched. And then he gets the layup from a distance to fall. Nice job there by Luke Wilson, the good individual effort to make it 44-35 with 14.5 to go. This goes to Novak in the near side corner to Dahman. Got to be careful with him. Now to Gavin Gross for 3. Can't leave him alone because he's going to drill that almost every time. Duvel comes down with the rebound. He'll put it back up and in for 2 for the Falcons. 44-37. Luke Wilson comes the other way. Front court now gives off to Austinson on the far side. Back to Wilson. Back to Osmus here on the near side. Novak swatted that one away, but Luke Wilson brings it back down. He wanted to go to Cummings. He'll go across court to Charlie Osmus, and now he'll give it to Wilson. Near side corner. Mason Charles inside to Cummings. Back out to Mason Charles. In the corner for 3. That's off the mark, and easy rebound for Derek Dahman. That might be one of the easiest of his career. Gavin Gross to Duvel. Duvel. Oh, and it's stolen away. It falls right into the lap of Charlie Osmus, but it's stolen right back by Gavin Gross, and going to get a double dribble here by the Falcons. Their head coach, Bennett LeRudd, does not agree. I didn't see it enough to dispute it, so I don't know. I can't say. I didn't get to see it. Not that I didn't get to, I just didn't catch it. There we go, better wording. Aiden Austinson has it now in the front court for the Dragons, and he'll give it off to Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson finds a lane, tries to drive inside, but that lane closed up quickly. He'll give it off to Austinson. He wanted to go to Osmus in the far side corner. And now the handles by Austinson. He'll give it off. Charlie Osmus on the near side corner for 3. Charlie Osmus, his first points of the game, and he drills it from the near side corner 3 to make it 47-37, a 10-point lead, 13 minutes to go here in the second half. Double teamed is Chmielewski. He gives it off to Gross for 3, and he's good, but not on that one. Duvel again comes down with the rebound to put it back up and in for 2. And the second chance opportunities on offense right now for the Falcons have been huge, and Duvel is a big reason why. Luke Wilson, far side to Austinson. Austinson, he plays football. Got to watch him last year a little bit and this year, and the strides he's made in football is huge. And also, I didn't see him much last year in basketball, but to see him come from, I'm assuming C-Squad JV to now varsity minutes is huge. And Osmus cannot bring in the pass cleanly. And Duvel's going to come up with the steal for the Falcons, and quickly to Novak, who puts it up and in for two. Great passing there by the Falcons, who make it 47-41 with 12:15 to go here in half number 2. Luke Wilson near side. He'll slow things down now. Pass it far side to Austinson. Austinson, you can tell he's learning from Wilson because he's got, you see some of the handles he has, and it kind of just mirrors Luke Wilson almost. They will pass it back and forth between themselves. Meanwhile, the possession arrow does favor the Dragons, so if they tie it up, they'll get it back anyways. And Austinson lost the ball. Mason Charles will go up for the shot, but he's going to be fouled. Great job by Charles being a good teammate, Mason Charles. As Austinson lost the dribble, Mason Charles was right there to pick it up and drive to the basket, and he was fouled, and he'll shoot 2. That foul is going to go against Derek Dahman, his second. They only have one guy with 3 fouls, and that's Ethan Novak. Shot is up and good for Mason Charles to make it 48-41. Chmielewski will check out, and for him is Cole Ruckert. Lamont Sidney checks in. Charlie Osmus and Riley Cummings check out. Also in is Isaiah Haas. Lamont Sidney is so quick inside. We get a whistle. Are they not going to count it? No, I think they're just going to get a substitution. Because Mason Charles hit both, and it's 49-41. Quickly up the court go the Falcons, and the passing, my goodness. They do such a good job passing the ball. And Duvel gives it off here to Novak. His shot is up no good, but he was fouled. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2. So Novak at the line to shoot 2, and getting his 4th foul there was Aiden Austinson, so he'll probably come sit for a couple of minutes, unfortunately, and the shot is up and good from Novak. And Austinson will come off. Mason Charles checks back in. Novak looks to convert both. And shot is up and no good. And Isaiah Haas will come down with the rebound there. Luke Wilson takes it near side up the court. Looking for a screen from Lamont Sidney. Lamont Sidney is such a long, lanky player. He is so fun to watch out there. Luke Wilson will take the shot from the far side. 3. Ashton Seals comes down with the rebound, but he falls on his back, and that will be a travel. I never really liked that call. So Riley Cummings will check in for Ashton Seals. Because how can you control yourself if you're falling and your feet aren't underneath you? There's no way to control it. And if you fall, then it's a travel. I mean, I understand it's part of the game, but I've never liked the call. I never have. Maybe never will. But it's part of the game. They're going to say he stepped out? I don't know about that one. Gross. I thought he toted the line pretty well, but maybe he had just the tip of his shoe out. The ball will go back to the Dragons with 11 minutes to go. Going to get an illegal screen here from Lamont Sidney. Lamont getting a word from Kyle Allen, his head coach, and yeah, unfortunately that's going to be an illegal screen, moving screen, whichever one you'd like to call it. It's going to be a foul on Lamont Sidney. It's illegal either way. So Lamont Sidney gets called for the foul. Derek Dahman has it and nearly has it stolen away. He almost had it stolen away. Mason Charles had it for a moment. Still on the floor, my goodness. They're going to get Isaiah Haas for a travel, but he slid on his back. He slid on his backside. That's not a travel if you slide. If you stay on one body part, that's not a travel even if you slide. Either way, Duvel will get the pass inbounded to him, and he puts it up and in for 2. That's unfortunately a bad call there by the referees. If you slide on one body part, that's not a travel as long as you stay on that body part. That's got to be a foul on the Falcons. And it will be. Dahman. Lamont Sidney set a strong screen there. And Dahman could not work through it, and he'll get the foul call on him for the 3rd team foul, and the foul will now be his 3rd. And Lamont Sidney, I mean, again, he's such a strong screen. Dahman just couldn't get around, and almost Could have been called another illegal screen from Sidney, but he does a good job of getting away right away. Isaiah Haas with it. Now on the far side for Wilson. Wilson, kind of a two-man or a zone, double zone on him on that far side. Riley Cummings, and that ball was knocked out of bounds by Gavin Gross. Almost came away with the steal, but he still at least knocked it out. Quickly inbounded to Sidney, or excuse me, to Wilson. Now to Charles. Back to Wilson. Back to Charles. Now back to Wilson. In the far side corner, it's Cummings with it. Now to Mason Charles. Charles goes to Isaiah Haas. Bounces once into the near side corner. Back to Charles. Charles goes inside to Cummings. Now to Isaiah Haas, near side corner for three. It's no good. Coming down with the rebound is Derek Dahman. He's quickly working it up the court to DeVell. Haas. Charge on the Foley Falcons. Haas did a good job of setting up right before DeVell got there. And that will be DeVell's first. Fourth team foul for the Falcons. And Bennett LaRudd gets an explanation. And I appreciate when the coaches go to the referees for an explanation, and they can be heated, but they still ask for an explanation, and when they get the explanation, they walk back to their side. And I love that. I love seeing coaches that are able to do that. That just shows how much of a clear head that they have. And I got to give credit to LaRudd, the Foley Falcons head coach. He did. He asked for that explanation, and he got it and didn't ask twice. And that's going to be a kickball on the Falcons. Number 3, Mason Zimmer. Again, I think I called him Adam Zimmer a couple times, so I apologize. Mason Zimmer with the kickball. Mason Charles will check out. Ashton Seals will come into the game. Luke Wilson will hold on to it for a second. And they weren't moving the ball at all. I wasn't sure if they knew that the game was back in play or if there was. I wasn't sure. Luke Wilson just kind of held on to the ball like the game wasn't resumed. Had some fans calling for the 5 count, but I don't think 5 count was needed there. 49-44 is the score. Either way, we'll move on. Under 9 minutes, we just dipped under that halfway mark here in this second half. Falcons on their way to the comeback. A nice move by Gavin Gross. His shot is up and no good, but he got fouled. He'll go line and shoot 2. It's going to go against Haas, his second. Gavin Gross at the line to shoot 2. 8:43 to go, and he makes the first to make it 49-44. 45, excuse me. And it's up and in. So he'll make both to make it 49-46, 8:40 to go. Luke Wilson. This Dragons team has kind of cooled off, and they're scoring only 11 points so far scored by them. 13 by the Falcons, and Riley Cummings will take a 3. We don't see him take threes too often, but he didn't make it, and Isaiah Haas came down with the rebound. That shot is, or the foul, no good by Ruckert. So Haas's first one. Oh, unkind is the home rim as it will rattle out. So no good on the first is Isaiah Haas with 8:25 to go. Dragons lead 49-46. Haas's second one is through. Make one of 2 there. 8:20 and counting in the second half. Falcons have it, and they're 4 points away from the lead. Derek Dahman will give it back off to Gavin Gross, and now to Mason Zimmer for 3, and you can't leave him that wide open. He brings the score within 1. 50-49, 8 minutes to go, and the Dragons, the scoring has kind of cooled off here, but the Dragons just seem a little bit out of rhythm here in this second half. They had it back up to a 10-point lead, but then since then it's just been out of rhythm for a little bit here for the Dragons. Give credit to this Foley defense. They have stepped things up here, and Wilson being double teamed, and Mont Sidney back out to Haas, now to Wilson. He thought about the NBA 3 and He's not going to take it. Lamont Sidney gets the blocked pass, brought it down, and how is that not a travel? That was called a travel the other way. You got to call it both ways there, ref. I respectfully disagree again on that call. That should be a travel. If you call it one way, you got to call it the other, and that's definitely a travel. They're going to come together, and they're going to stick with the call. I disagree strongly with that one. That's should be a travel. We'll move on. 50-49 is the score. 7:32 to go. Again, we thank the referees for the job they do. Again, they do this in their volunteer time. It's not their full-time job, so they can't get everything right. So again, appreciate what they do. Foley Falcons will take that timeout. And on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard, it's a 1-point game, 50-49, with the Dragons still in the lead. Embrace Orthodontics Dr. Sievers is committed to providing world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. You can start today at embracemn.com. So a couple of iffy calls here in this game, especially in this second half. It has been kind of a back and forth for both of these teams. So the timeout is over. 7:32 to go. Meanwhile, over in that boys hockey game, the Dragons trail 4-0 in the second period to the St. Cloud Cathedral Crusaders. So struggling there are the Dragons over at the Pine City Civic Center. A lob pass into Ruckert. He puts it up and in for two. Now the Falcons have a lead, 51-50, and Dragons, they got to turn things around here. It has been all Foley as of late, and they're going to have to get things going. And Lamont Sidney lost it. He'll get it back, and I don't want to sound like I'm nitpicking the referee, so I'll just move on. Jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Dragons. Luke Wilson will get set to inbound for the Dragons. They trail by 1, 7:12 to go. Inbound to Haas. Over to Seals. Seals guarded well. They're running at more of a zone defense. This one goes over to Luke Wilson. He totes the line. No really chance there. Adam Zimmer going to come down with the steal. It's Gavin Gross. No good on the shot. Isaiah Haas comes down with the rebound. Luke Wilson up the court. Pass was blocked by Dahman. Great block by Dahman, by the way. Out to Lamont Sidney. Wanted Isaiah Haas. Gives it back to Wilson. Wilson steps inside the perimeter. Now he'll circle the perimeter out to the elbow on the near side. Isaiah Haas, and they're putting the pressure on are the Falcons, and three from the far side is well off the mark as Dahman comes in for the rebound. Quickly down the court, and if Cummings turns around, that's a steal. That shot up, no good. Lamont Sidney comes down with the rebound there for the Dragons. He takes it up the court quickly. Nice step, nice Euro move. Up, no good, but he was fouled. A nice Euro step there by Lamont Sidney, but he drew the foul on Duvel. That'll be his second, team sixth for the Falcons, and Lamont Sidney at the line to shoot two. He makes the first to tie this one at 51. This gym got quieter than I think I've ever heard it during a basketball game for that free throw. 6:15 to go. And no good on the second. And so Sidney gets the one, but not two. And Duvel comes down with the rebound. He's been a rebound machine for the Falcons, and that's one thing that the Dragons are going to have to do. They're going to have to grab rebounds. Isaiah Haas had to go for the steal there, and someone's going to get a foul. I'm not sure who. It's any one of three Dragons, I believe. 15 foul for the Dragons. Not sure on who. They didn't show who it was on, and that ball is no good on the shot. It's going to be taken by Isaiah Haas. Luke Wilson looks to the head coach, Kyle Allen, for the call. Under 6 minutes to go. We're tied at 51. Luke Wilson double teamed, and they've been doing that here tonight, working on a zone defense, and they back up into the Dragons offensive player and time out. Luke Wilson, that one was nearly, and then he missed the three-point shot. No good, rebounded here by Mason Zimmer. I apologize. Gavin Gross for three, good. Yep, it's been that kind of second half for the Dragons. They get something to go their way, and then all of a sudden it goes right back to the Falcons. 54-51 is the lead for Foley. Lamont Sidney drives inside. He'll give it off to Cummings. That shot is blocked by Duvel. That's a good block. And now the Falcons, they have full control. Gross, he's just showing off with the three from NBA. Gross, I mean, he showed off with that one. Yeah, he had no one around him. He could have passed off. Nope, I'm going to take an NBA three. He drilled it. Again, he just showed off. I mean, that is, wow, nice three from Gross. Mason Charles, this defense for Foley has really stepped up here in the second half and have just wreaked havoc on the Dragons offense. And that's got to be a foul. It will be. 7th team foul on the Falcons, and Lamont Sidney should go to the line for a 1-and-1. That's on Novak, his fourth. Mason Charles will come out, take a needed rest, and for him, Aiden Austinson. Now Austinson comes in with 4 fouls, so he's going to have to be careful. 4:34 to go. Dragons trail by 6. Sidney's first one is good. Cut the deficit down to 5. (57-52). Dragons trail. 4:34 to go. Lamont Sidney makes them both. And lead is down to 4 now for the Falcons. Derek Dahman, he's looking to get going. He said he gives it off to Mason Zimmer. He gives it back out to Dahman. Haas misses on the steal attempt. Gives it out to Mason Zimmer for 3. And that was almost home. Lamont Sidney, I mean, he worked through a couple of defenders to get the rebound. Nearly lost his dribble, though. And now he'll give it off to Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson near side. They're playing kind of that double zone to where they kind of trap the player, double him up and back him up, and then he has no choice but to pass it away. And that's really what has led to Pine City not getting any open shots. But Lamont Sidney right there, he works through it, and one! Lamont Sidney, when he gets an opportunity, he takes full advantage. Basket is good, and he has a chance at a 3-point play. Did they call Ruckert for that foul? He's who checked out. Well, I don't know who they got for the foul. Lamont Sidney no good on the first. Rebound's taken by Dahman. 57-55, 3:45 to go. Falcons with the lead. Dahman trying to get around Haas. Haas has it nearly poked out, and rolls to Mason Zimmer in that kind of second half. Mason Zimmer will get it, and he'll pass off to Gavin Gross. Gross will just kind of hold on to it. Look for a screen, and driving inside. Haas is right there, but the shot is up and no good. Haas comes down with the rebound. No travel call there. Good no call. Luke Wilson trying to take over. He will. Puts it up and in for 2. Ties the game at 57. 3:05 to go, but you can't do that. Duvel. No! Misses on the dunk attempt, and then he fouls Lamont Sidney on the rebound. Lamont Sidney's kind of feeling it right now, and he's really helping his team, and he should go. Yep, he will go to line for a 1-and-1. Duvel picks up his 3rd foul. And Sidney will go to line and possibly break this tie with 3:01 to go. Shot is no good. Riley Cummings comes down with the rebound. Lamont Sidney puts up a 3. It's no good. Duvel comes down with the rebound for the Falcons. Duvel's been a rebound machine for the Falcons. And if you're the Dragons, you're gonna have to come up with offensive boards to create second chance opportunities. And wow, what a pass there to Novak, and he just shot through the defense for 2. They take a 59-57 lead, 2:35 to go. Luke Wilson has it. He again gives to Austinson, looking for a screen from Sidney. Give it off to Luke Wilson, far side, 2:20 to go. Luke Wilson, again, they're kind of playing a double zone where you get 2 guys who zone in on a player, and then they kind of just back them up. Into the near side corner for 3. Haas, no good. And giving the rebound is Novak. And if you are the Dragons right now, you cannot have that happen. Right now, you have, and it's not like, oh, you should try more. You have to get those offensive rebounds. It looks like they're going to get Lamont Sidney for the foul. That's okay. That'll be only the 6th foul for the Dragons. I think that's the 4th for Lamont Sidney. Dahmen inside to Duvel. Duvel done a good job here tonight with those, and he'll make it. 61-57 lead here for the Falcons, and Dragons trail by 4 with 1:35 to go. Austinson, and again, timeout call here by Pine City. And that'll be their 3rd. 61-57 is the score with 1:34 to go. On that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard, they are helping you find a smile you'll embrace forever. And also, your customized smile journey starts with a free consultation. The team at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible with custom braces or Invisalign. Find out more at embracemn.com. 61-57 is the score. Dragons will get set to inbound. It's Luke Wilson to Austinson. Austinson will go back and forth on the perimeter. Now give it to Wilson inside to Lamont Sidney, and Sidney will put it up and in for 2. He has come alive here in the second half. 61-59, 1:15 to go. Oh, Gavin Gross was almost on that line for an over and back, but nice job passing that off. And now to Novak. Novak trying to work around the deep. Oh. That's going to be on Austinson, and that'll be his 5th. Unfortunately, he'll have to check out. And Novak will go to line for a 1-and-1. Ashton Seals will come in for Austinson. Novak at the line again to shoot a 1-and-1 for the Falcons. He makes the first, so it'll be a 62-59, a 3-point game. Makes them both. Ethan Novak with 2 huge free throws. So the Dragons, with under a minute to go, have some work to do, down by 4, 63-59, and they keep taking precious time off the clock here. Ashton Seals trying to get it to Luke Wilson. They're going to have to hurry. They have got... Oh, how is that not a foul? Mont Sidney was pumped hard. That should have been a foul. They won't call it. Luke Wilson will inbound to Haas. To Riley Cummings. Back to Wilson. And Wilson stepped on the line. And that's going to be tough now, because the Falcons have not really missed here in the later parts of this game. as that clock has continued to roll. They haven't really missed in the last couple minutes, and now a step on the line by Wilson as he was trying to keep it alive, but it will go back to the Falcons on a turnover. Dragons trail by 4 with under a minute to go, about 40 seconds to go in the game. Dragons have some work to do. Give credit, though, again, to the Falcons' defense. They have really stepped up the pressure here in the second half. What was a 10-point lead was erased, and now they have a 4-point lead here later parts of the game. And, again, they have just created no open opportunities for the Dragons to even breathe, let alone get a shot off. And Dragons are going to have to find something. That will fall their way. Timeout almost over. Pine City called their 4th. They'll have 1 left. Falcons will get it inbounded here, and it's stolen away by Luke Wilson. He'll take it to the line, up and in for 2, plus the and 1. 10th team foul for the Falcons. Not sure who that foul was on. Oh, the gym was dead quiet as Wilson went up for that free throw. It's no good, and the rebound there by Zimmer, Mason Zimmer. (63-61). Mason Zimmer will go to the line. One and one for Mason Zimmer. No good. Rebound. Oh, right back to Novak. And there you go. Yeah, that's who you don't want to go to the line is Gavin Gross. Timeout called here by Foley. 22 seconds to go. They want to get their game plan set for these last couple of seconds. 22 seconds to go to be exact on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Dragons trail by 2, 63-61. Embrace Orthodontics. They will do all the insurance heavy lifting for you, and if you don't have insurance, you can ask about financing options. They'll find a plan to fit your budget. You can find out more at embracemn.com. 63-61. Luke Wilson, a huge steal off that inbound. Go up and put up 2, and then unable to convert the three-point play. And now you're sending Gavin Gross to the line, someone who really you don't want to send to the line because he has just been on from 3. So putting him that many feet closer should, what you would think would be automatic, but maybe it won't be. Maybe it won't be as automatic as we think. Timeout nearly over. This one's coming down to a photo finish. 63-61, Falcons with the lead. They pretty much trailed the entire game until this second half with just past that halfway mark. They took over the lead, and Reagan's trail by 2, and now they hope that Gavin Gross will not. Oh, yes, that's right. It wasn't a foul. I kept thinking it was a foul, but it was a timeout called. My goodness, well, I'm off. That ball, yep, and that's what you didn't need. Dahman up for 2, and now you have to go quick. 15 seconds to go. If you're the Dragons, you got to score here. Otherwise, there's no chance. Into Isaiah Haas, up and in for 2. Timeout's going to be called right away. I believe that'll be the last timeout called here by Pine City. 8.5 seconds to go. 65-63. Isaiah Haas scored that last basket, and 8.5 seconds. It's not over. Pine City's out of timeout, so we'll discuss what they want to do here with 8 seconds to go. Dragons either need a steal on the inbound. If you don't steal, you got to foul. And again, don't foul Dahman, don't foul Novak. don't foul Gross. Really just, you don't want to foul any of these guys, but you have to in this situation. But those are probably the 3 guys you don't want to foul right now if you're Pine City, because those guys in this second half have just been red hot. Made basically everything they have put towards the basket. Timeout over. Here we go. Let's see what these last 8.5 seconds have in store. Dragons playing a little bit of a full court press. They'll get it inbounded quickly here to Gavin Gross. And that's got to be a timeout. Oh, they called a timeout, but they might have been a little bit, I think they caught that jump ball. I think they should have called a jump ball there. 2 players got tied up. And Kyle, I don't see what I saw. The 2 players were tied up, and I think it should have been called a jump ball, but it was not. So precious time goes off the clock, and that possession arrow, well, it favors the Falcons, so maybe it didn't matter so much if it was tied up, but would have stopped the clock. They would have had another opportunity to get it back. But I guess the timeout works in the same way. Falcons trying to hold on to this 2-point lead. And are they going to call a foul? Yeah, they'll call a foul. It'll be the 9th, but it'll be just a 1-and-1 here for the Falcons, and that doesn't mean too much because there's 2.5 seconds left. Dragons got to rebound quick up the court and shoot quick. Mason Charles picks up his second. Two and a half seconds to go. Gavin Gross did not make it. Oh, and then tried to get it to Luke Wilson, and that's it. That'll do it. That's your final. Pass was out of bounds. Tried to go for Luke Wilson, and the pass just out of reach. What? Oh, okay. They're putting 0.4 seconds on the board. I was kind of wondering, they put 4 seconds on the board. I was like, wait a minute, we didn't even have 4 seconds to go. And timeout called here by the Foley Falcons. I don't know what you need to call the timeout for. You inbound, and that's game. The inbound is going to be game. But maybe just to, I don't know. I don't really know why you would call a timeout here. Hey, you can't take them with you, so why not, I guess, in this situation. Yeah, why not? Maybe there's a lot more that can happen in 0.4 seconds. Maybe I'm just thinking that 0.4 takes a little bit longer than what I'm thinking it does. That very well could be. I sometimes can be very bad at kind of reading time. That was a 30-second timeout, it looks like. They had a 60-second timeout on the clock, but looks like it was only a 30-second one. So referees had to tell the teams, hey, we got to get back out there. That was only a 30. So, yeah, the inbound is going to end it. And there we go. 63-65 is the score in favor of the Foley Falcons. This was a fun one between these two teams, but unfortunately it goes and ends in favor of the Falcons, 63-65. We'll take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll recap the game and have our interview with our A&W player of the game and head coach Kyle Allen. You're listening to Boys Basketball on 100.9
Choose
FM,
the right
WCMP.
divorce attorney. Spear and Swanson will make sure the judge knows your side of the story. Let them help you with your divorce, custody, child support, harassment, or orders for protection. They also handle DWIs and other legal matters. The right divorce attorney does make a difference. That's why you need to choose Spear and Swanson, attorneys at law in Pine City. Call 320-620-7586.
The mushroom melt is back at A&W. How does this sound? Sautéed seasoned mushrooms and onions with melted Swiss cheese on your choice of a juicy burger or grilled chicken. Then add golden French fries and a medium soft drink. It's the mushroom melt and fries combo at A&W. Now, top it off with a classic A&W root beer float featuring vanilla soft serve and made fresh root beer, all in a frosty mug. Or how about the A&W root beer freeze? Signature combos and delicious treats always at your local A&W restaurant in Pine City.
No appointment? No problem. Injuries and feeling ill don't always happen during normal business hours. That's why Wellia Health has urgency services open 7 days a week. Urgency Services in Pine City offers the care you need when you need it. Hours are now 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week. No need to call or make an appointment. Just stop in. When tomorrow isn't soon enough and normal business hours just won't do, you can count on Wellia Health to be there for you. Live life well at Wellia Health.
Since 1967, Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley, has been where to go for all your building projects. Let Gerald Schmidt help you with designing, remodeling, or any new construction. Schmidt Construction specializes in residential home building, agricultural, industrial, and commercial buildings. With expert advice on all of your building projects and ideas. When you hire a contractor to take care of your building needs, you can't do better than Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley. 320-384-7901.
Most Americans do not have a proper will or estate plan in place. Many of you listening have been putting off that important task for a long time. Stop waiting and contact Spear & Swanson today. Spear & Swanson can help you put together a tight legal estate plan to make sure the assets you've been working so hard to obtain get passed on to your loved ones in the way that best fits you. Spear & Swanson, attorneys at law in Pine City. Call 320-629-7586. That's 320-629-7586.
Back here on 100.9 FM WCMP, we are now joined by our A&W player of the game, Riley Cummings. Riley Cummings, congratulations on being our A&W player of the game. This one was a tough one. It was a section matchup between these two teams. It was close all the way through. How did you feel about this, even though you guys fell short today?
I don't know. I really thought we expected to win that one, and I don't know, we just weren't doing the right things on defense and just started to fall apart towards the end there, and it really came back to bite us in the second half. You were a big presence on both offense and defense, grabbing rebounds and getting inside on the boards. How tough was it down there in the paint here tonight? Yeah, it's pretty physical down there, especially with some bigger kids. And what is something that you'll take away from this game to move forward here during the season? Focus on the little things to make sure we're getting everything right, and I don't know, you just got to give 100% every time. You can't take that one play off. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on being our A&W player of the game. Thank you. That, again, was Riley Cummings, our A&W player of the game. Now we'll hand it over to the head coach, Kyle Allen. Kyle, this was a very physical game right from the tip-off. This was a fun one to watch. Unfortunately, you guys came up short, but talk about how your team played here this evening.
Yeah, physicality. I mean, the aggressiveness, the physicality, it was just it was a lot like Thursday night here last week. We were able to play a lot, and both sides were able to play. And so when that happens, you get that level of physicality and aggressiveness that comes with it. One possession game, I think, here at the end. We gave ourselves a chance. We gave ourselves an opportunity. Just didn't fall our way tonight. So it's good. We showed a little bit of our inexperience. We showed a little bit of our greenness and what we need to grow on as a group, which is good, and we can take that. And again, the important thing is it's not over. The season's not over. The goals are still in front of you, but are you going to take these and learn from them? And so far, this group's been good about that. This group's been good about taking those lessons that need to be taken from a game and implementing them into the next. So I'm excited to retake the court on Thursday. All eyes will be there for our conference matchup. Absolutely, and we talk about the experience of this team, how it's not a super experienced group because of the seniors before them and how they're still kind of meshing. How do you feel that about this team, that they are continuing to grow together and mesh together and just become one unit out there? Yeah, it's a process. And, the steal from Coach K, he says, a season is a lifetime, and we're in some growing pains, and that's okay. We started with the hand that we were dealt, and we started there. And our job is to do the best we can with that and grind through that and put put scheme, put X's and O's in the right position. And so our job is to go out there and do that as best we can.
Absolutely. And foul-wise, got into a little bit of foul trouble there in the first half, but things really got corrected in the second half. What was the message about those fouls going into the second half?
Yeah, it's part of that learning curve. You have to learn that you can't do the foul when everyone's watching. You can't foul the kid 90 feet from the basket. You can't go up and take a swing at a shot, and they're going up for a layup and you're out of position. Everyone in the gym sees that. You have every eye in the gym watching that, and everyone sees the foul. That's not toughness. That's just ignorance, and so we got to be better at that. So again, there's a learning moment. There's something where we can take the film, showcase, show them where we want mistakes to be corrected, and so we get to take that and run with that a little bit.
Yeah, and there were some calls that looked like it could have gone either way in this one, and some of you guys looked like they were getting a little bit frustrated. What is your message to the guys about that? And sometimes, you just have to play through those.
Yeah, you got to control what you can control. You can't control what the other team does. You can't control what a referee calls. You can't control what the crowd yells. You can't control none of that. And so you control the things that you can control within your grasp, and we need to make sure we're concentrating on that. I thought we had some mental lapse tonight. I thought we got focused on some of the wrong things, and when that happens, that's where your focus goes. And so we got to make sure that we are dialed in. We're focused into what our goals are and what we're trying to achieve, and how we can do that moving forward together.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the game here on Thursday against Ogilvie, another conference matchup for you guys. What are you looking forward to in that one?
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, anytime you get to play, it's good news. And we, between the COVID season a few years ago and the snow days this year, we don't take anything for granted. So it's always good to be able to lace up and go play the next game and get that taste out of your mouth. So we're excited to have a chance to get our frustrations out in practice tomorrow and see if we can refocus and have a better result on Thursday.
Well, Coach, thanks so much for joining me, and good luck on Thursday.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thanks for all your coverage.
Absolutely. That, again, was head coach Kyle Allen, and the Dragons fall here tonight at home against the Foley Falcons, 65-63. It was a fun one to call, a Section 6AA matchup between these two teams, and, again, the Dragons just come up short here by one possession, and it was a fun one to call. Kind of a tale of two halves here. Dragons had a double-digit lead a couple times there in the first half. They held one here in the second half, but then Foley corrected things, started to get a lot better on defense, and they really just started to kind of suffocate anything Pine City was trying to do on the offensive side of the ball. So give credit to Foley. They really did a good job of shutting down Pine City's offense. Of course, that's pretty hard to do, especially when you've got guys like Luke Wilson who can really get started from three. You got Isaiah Haas and Riley Cummings, who very good defenders down there on the court. You've got Nick Plajic, who loves to be on defense. Mason Charles, who he can get going at times. You got Lamont Sidney, who I think sometimes doesn't get talked about enough because he comes off the bench and, man, does he play well. And he's, again, that long, lanky player, and he's got some wheels on him. And when he can, man, he turns it on. And he may not get a lot of the stats on the board sometimes, but, man, does he make some of those important plays that this team needs at key times. And we've seen those here tonight, especially in the second half. That's kind of when he came alive. As I try to get some of these stats written up here for these teams, trying to do quick math. Again, I am terrible at math, so I apologize. I'm working on it here. 65-63 is the final score here in this one, and leading the way for the visiting and victorious Foley Falcons was Derek Domino, 17 points. That was no surprise. He led the team with 15. Cooled off here in the second half, but he kind of gave it over to Tegan Duvel, who was second behind him with 15 points. He was a rebounding machine as he went up and grabbed 10, so he had a double-double for himself here tonight, and it was a very good performance there from Duvel, especially, as I mentioned, in the second half. So props to him for getting going here in the second half and just kind of making things happen and getting things going, and they will get the victory. And then after that, it's Gavin Gross with 14, 7 points for Ethan Novak, 6 for Mason Zimmer, 4 for Cole Ruckerton, 2 for Max Chmielewski. On the other side for the Pine City Dragons, who fall at home tonight, Luke Wilson led the team with 22 points. He had a couple rebounds as well. Mason Charles, he scored 10 here in this game. 8 for both Lamont Sidney and Isaiah Haas. Then you go on and look at Riley Cummings with 6 points, 3 for Charlie Osmus, and 2 for Aiden Austinson and Nick Pelagic. Leading the way rebound-wise was Isaiah Haas with 7. He had 3 steals tonight as well. A block for Lamont Sidney. He had 4 rebounds. They had about 22 fouls. Again, they really started to get better at the rebounds as the game went along, but also in the foul department. They were in foul trouble early here in that first half, but then they kind of started to correct things towards the second half and really, really got a lot better. And unfortunately, in the second half, the rebounds just leaned in favor of the Falcons because, again, it was Duvel who really made, I would say, pushed the momentum in their favor, and he forced things to go their way, especially with those rebounds that created second chance opportunities for the Falcons in which they converted. And that is huge in a game like this when it is so close. You got two teams battling it out, duking it out. When a game like that, those are the important stats that you have to look at, and he came up with a lot of them. So the Dragons do fall 65-63 here at home to the Foley Falcons. As you heard from head coach Kyle Allen, they will move on to Thursday, where they will host the Ogilvie Lions, and that should be another fun one. A conference opponent in the Ogilvie Lions, a Great River Conference game for the Pine City Dragons. They are 1-1 in the conference right now. Coming up for us later on this week, on Thursday, we'll have some girls hockey coming your way on 106.5. That'll be Pine City Girls taking on Northern Tier. Also have girls basketball over on 95.5 with Bram taking on Mille Lacs. And more Pine City basketball. We'll be right back here for that Pine City game against Ogilvie. So again, I want to thank all of you who tuned in here this evening. I want to thank all of our fine sponsors who sponsored this broadcast. Thank you so much to all of them, because literally without them, we would not be able to come out here and bring you any of these games. So thank you so much to them. Again, the final here on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard reads Foley 65, Pine City 63. Again, stay tuned to the morning shows on 95.5 FM with Rockin' Robin Riley at 7:30 and 8:30. Then on 100.9 FM, this very station with Joshua Miron at 7:45 and 8:45. That's when you can catch your local sports updates, where we will get you updated on this game as well as other local scores around our local listening area. Stay tuned to our Facebook and website for articles about other things and when you can catch all the other games as well. And if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe so you are notified when we go live with a local game. Again, the final here, Foley 65, Pine City 63. Thanks to all of you tuning in. Thanks to all the fine sponsors. Thanks for Joshua Miron getting me on and off air here. Thanks so much to him. And remember, be kind to everyone, because you never know what someone is going through, and your kindness could really make their day. For WCMP, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. Have a great rest of your night.